This is how to make money as a running filmmaker. For me, filming running isn't something that I just do for fun, it's one of the ways I make a living. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through how you can turn your love for storytelling, filmmaking, and running into an actual career. Whether you wanna grow on YouTube, work with brands, or direct documentaries, this video is for you. So stick around, let's dive in. If you're new to this channel, hey, I'm Rue, I'm a filmmaker, and I'm making a how to film running masterclass. And because you've watched all of those other videos and you know the technical skills behind filming running, this episode is going to share the business side, the career and cultural side of building a business as a filmmaker. And with that, the first step to building a successful running filmmaking business is finding your niche and your edge. Even though being a running filmmaker is already a niche in and of itself, you still have to find ways to find your edge. Find something to stand out. If you stand for everything, you can't necessarily be everything to everybody. Find what you love and stand for something. This can start in the types of things that you want to go shoot. Do you shoot races? Do you care more about the lifestyle of running? Do you want to shoot solo adventures for YouTube? Do you want to shoot solo adventures for brands? These are just some examples of things you might want to shoot, but this can really start to create a structure for yourself on where you're going to start to make money. If you care more about documenting solo adventures by yourself, you are the running creator yourself, that business model might look a little bit different than if you want to go out and shoot races. So starting up front, deciding what you want to shoot, can help provide a really good foundation for your business. Once you've answered that question for yourself, you can start to uncover what your style is. Is your filmmaking style more gritty, thinking like skateboard aesthetic, more handheld, shaky footage, grain overlays, or do you want something a little bit more polished, where most of the stuff is shot on a gimbal and made to look as nice as possible? Do you care about things feeling a little bit more poetic, or do you want something that really documents an adventure in real time? This process of finding your style, in my opinion, is really fun because you can start to experiment with different ways of making the same kind of video. For me, I found my personal style over the years of just creating videos, and I kind of have found that a lot of my videos start to feel the same, regardless if I'm filming a race, an adventure, or just capturing an athlete going through their daily life and sharing their story. Once you pick your tone, you can work around that and build from that, and that's what you can start to get known for in this niche. If it all feels a little bit overwhelming to try to find your style right away, that's okay, I can totally relate. Just find a project that you're really stoked on and you can't imagine not making. If you follow this passion of just creating your next video that you're stoked on, gradually over time, you will kind of find your own style of what it is that the projects that you're drawn to. I always recommend to create a project that you want to get hired for, whether or not you're actually getting hired for it. Because over time, you will create a portfolio of work that you want to get hired for, and somebody will come along, see your style, resonate with it, and hire you for that. For me, my personal style, if you've perused any of the videos on this YouTube channel or on my website, is that I don't just shoot running, I tell stories about why people run. For me, it is way more interesting to dive into the human emotional sides of running more so than the athletic performance of what first place looks like. Even if I'm documenting some of the most elite athletes in the running space, I care more about how they're feeling versus how they're performing. But that is different for everybody, so find your niche and dive into it. Step 2 to building a career as a running filmmaker is building your portfolio. Before anyone pays you, you've got to show them what you can do. So take these lessons that you've learned in this masterclass and go out and make a spec project. Make something without a company paying you to test your abilities and to see what you can come up with on your own. If you want to make a 30-second commercial or Instagram reel with a friend or an athlete that's a runner, that's a great start. If you want to tell a deeper, emotional documentary style piece, that's really amazing as well. I will say that will take a little bit more effort than making like a 30-second commercial style reel, depending on how much effort you're putting into both. But if you want to really go about making a career in this, showing people what you can do is really important, regardless of the format that you choose. This is an opportunity to practice your storytelling and elevate your production. When I was first starting out as a filmmaker, I always wondered how people got these connections. And for me, these connections just came from making videos about runners over the years. Because every time you make a film or make a commercial and put it on your Instagram, that can help connect you to somebody new. Whether that is you actively reaching out to somebody or drawing somebody in from the community that you admire and you respect. Most of the work that I got hired from when I first started out was from free projects. The majority of college, I was making these videos for fun, just documenting my friends running. And it wasn't great per se, but it was getting me out there and practicing these technical skill sets. I was practicing getting gimbal shots, practicing getting drone shots. I was really trying to hone the technical side of filmmaking and building my portfolio. And the first project I got was a $10,000 project from my website where they saw my portfolio, they admired my documentary style storytelling, and they're like, we would love to hire you to do this thing. And I didn't have not one single paid project on my website. So you can go from making free projects to making paid projects as long as you're building your portfolio first. And now over time, my portfolio will build because I'm getting hired to do paid projects, I'm still shooting passion projects, and the whole portfolio is building, and people can really understand what I am capable of as a filmmaker and hire me because of that. So whether you're getting paid for it or you're doing it for free, just put your best effort into making absolutely the most beautiful running film or running commercial that you possibly can make. Because if you're always making your best work, not only will hopefully you get hired for it down the line, but you'll hopefully have a lot of fun making it and feel very proud of yourself at the end of the day. All right, now that we got those first 2 steps covered, let's talk about some actionable steps to making money as a running filmmaker. Here are a few ways that you can make money as a running filmmaker. The first, working with athletes. This is probably the best and most obvious way, but athletes are often sponsored by brands. Athletes themselves may not have a lot of money, but they are connected with brands that need content and are willing to pay for it. This can also introduce you to the community of professional runners, which then can spread your name around and hopefully introduce you to more running contacts in the future and help build the brand of you as a running filmmaker, but also help build your content. The first way to work with athletes is create a personal highlight reel for them. Go out for a day, follow them on a track, follow them on an adventure, and create a highlight reel from that footage. This can showcase their training, this can showcase any one of their races, this can showcase their mentality towards their health at certain stages of their career. Connecting with a professional athlete and filming them is a great way to start to build your brand as a running filmmaker. You may not get paid right away for this, but you can go out and collaborate with an athlete, make a spec project together. Then once that piece is done and the connection has been made, you could pitch that sponsor with the athlete on a more highly produced project down the line. And one tip if you're looking to collaborate with athletes is some athletes are sponsored by multiple brands, and this can be a really great way to not just introduce yourself to one brand, but introduce yourself to multiple brands. The second actionable way that you can make money as a running filmmaker is by covering races and events. Event recaps are super valuable. It's a weird time, but if something happens in real life, but it doesn't happen on the internet, it's kind of like it didn't happen at all. So all of these races and all these events need content at the end of the day so they can promote what their race felt like and what it looked like to their followers and to their audience that weren't able to attend in person. If you want to film and edit these summaries for race organizers to use in promotion, that can be a really great way to get really plugged into the running community pretty quickly. You'll start to maybe meet some of the athletes, you'll start to make some friends, you'll be out there with other media. It's a great way to sort of build community as well as make a paycheck. If you're not interested as much in the editing side of things and you don't want to make recap videos, you could also go into live streaming these races and these events. We live in an incredible time for technology, and running is not exempt from that. We are experiencing a lot of race coverage when events are happening. And as a filmmaker, if you have these technical skills, you can be of value to them in the live streaming capacity as well. This is really fun because you get to be a part of the event, you get to document the event, but you don't necessarily have to go edit. Let's dive into another way to make money, which is collaborating with brands. The most important part about making content for brands is building relationships upfront with the marketing teams. Starting off by making videos with athletes can do that. Covering races and getting connected with marketing folks that way can also do that. Cold emails can also do that, but I will say that is far less likely to work than the other ways of meeting them naturally through connections. But once you're connected to these marketing teams, I think it always starts off as filmmakers where you are pitching a creative concept to them. Often these brands have filmmakers that they already prefer working with, and so as a newcomer on the scene, it's important that you are providing a creative concept or a value that the other filmmakers aren't. This goes back to the very beginning of the video where I was talking about how important it is to find your style and to find your tone. If your tone and style matches with the brand's tone and style, you are in great shape. If you prefer to make gritty and raw and authentic running films, that might not be aligned with some brand's style, but it might be perfectly aligned for another. So do some research on the brands that you're contacting, look at their content, look at what they're creating for YouTube, look at what they're creating for Instagram, and see if your style fits in that. And if it does, that's a great start to potentially be building those connections. Once you have those introductions, some of the types of videos that you could make for brands are product launch videos, lifestyle content, social media campaigns, athlete features, or anything else you can come up with. I will say that working with brands, the budgets tend to be a little bit higher than if you're working directly with athletes or when you're working with races covering events. And while these bigger budgets can be great, sometimes it is a balance between creative freedom and the paycheck. Sometimes brands have very specific things that they need from the film, and you are kind of a hired gun to go out and create that concept and bring it to life, which is really, really fun, but it doesn't always lead to the most creative freedom. And this is why I mentioned building the portfolio earlier, because if your portfolio is aligned with the brand's style and their content, they might hire you because of your portfolio, and you might be given more creative freedom because they really trust you and trust your style. Another way to make money as a running filmmaker is by monetizing your own platforms. You could have your own YouTube channel where you share tutorials or reviews about running shoes, or you create your own content doing adventures for yourself. You can grow your audience, earn ad revenue, start to do brand sponsorships this way. You could do affiliate marketing. There's digital courses that you could launch. There's digital products that you could launch. These are some ways to make money while still providing value to your audience as well. Monetizing your own platforms works for some people. Some people don't want to be in front of the camera, and that is totally fine. I love being in front of the camera, and I love teaching, and I love sharing. So for me, it makes sense, but it might not make sense for you. However, if you are interested in this masterclass because you want to create running content and document your own journey of running, then this could be a very viable, obvious option. If you make good running videos on YouTube, there is an audience for it. People love running content. And if you are an interesting character and go on interesting adventures or are documenting the journey of you training for a marathon or a 10K, like, people might want to see that. So shoot your shot, see what happens. Constantly refine and make better videos, and your audience will grow. Another way to make money, and I'm not going to say the last way to make money because I'm sure there are a bazillion ways to make money in the running filmmaking space. You could be a consultant, you could do workshops, you could do educational courses. There's probably a bazillion different ways that I'm not going to address, but the last, in my opinion, obvious one is selling stock footage. I will say AI is starting to get really good. And that's a little spooky, I think, as filmmakers, but I also think on these other areas that I've covered as ways to make money, I don't think AI is going to replace that. I don't think athlete videos are going to start being made by AI, at least not good ones yet. People will always want to see the actual athlete going through an adventure or going through and sharing their story. These races and these events are real world human experiences, and AI can't capture that. It can maybe make footage that looks similar, but the actual race itself is what people will care about. Brands might start to use it for product launches and specific ways in their marketing because it's cheaper than hiring a filmmaker. So as a commercial filmmaker, I might be a little bit more nervous. Selling stock footage, I would definitely be more nervous because I think if a brand or a company or anybody is wanting to buy stock footage, as AI continues to develop and get better, they might just create it themselves rather than license it from somebody. This is like a dire thing to say, and I hate saying it because I, as a filmmaker, don't want to see that happen. I have friends that like sell stock footage, and that's a way that they make money and feed their family and pay rent. But I think it is also important as filmmakers to pay attention to what is happening with the AI technologies and understand, hey, are any of these ways that we make money now at risk as technology continues to develop? I know that's a little bit of like a dire thing to talk about towards the end of this masterclass, but I think it is really important as filmmakers to be on top of these things and think about how can we diversify? How can I be building a business that is future-proof and recession-proof, so when gigs stop coming or when AI technologies start changing, I can still be at the forefront in making a career out of this thing that I love. Which brings me to my last step for the video, which is sustainability and career longevity. Because let's be real, this job can burn you out, and it probably will burn you out at some point in your career. So here are a few ways that I stay grounded. I don't say yes to everything. That is definitely a luxury that I take at this stage in my career where I don't necessarily have to say yes to everything. When I'm first starting out, I definitely felt like I had to, and I definitely did, and I got burned out. And it was okay because I needed to pay rent and I made it happen for myself, and that was awesome. But saying yes to everything and protecting your mental health and protecting your physical health can help build longevity in this. Something else I do is I plan my year around my own personal projects in addition to client deadlines. I always want to be making my own videos. I got into filmmaking because I just love making films. I love making videos. I love telling people stories. I love bringing my camera places. This is one of the most important ways I express myself creatively, and I love to do it. So I don't want to lose my love for it because I'm getting paid to do other people's projects all the time. So I build my year and I build my schedule around doing my own projects as well. Which also leads me into another thing I do to stay grounded, which is keep running. Keep running. Stay fit. Running and filming is a physically demanding job, and I got into filming running because I love running myself. You don't necessarily have to be running a sub 3-hour marathon or be breaking records in the 10K to be filming running by any means. If you want to be filming running, I think it's important to still go run, you know? Like, this is how we clear our heads. This is how we stay grounded as ourselves. I think if you're a runner, you know, like, going and running is a way that we can stay grounded with ourselves. And finally, building a community around yourself is a great way to prevent yourself from burning out and having career sustainability and longevity. When I was originally scripting this video, I wrote that it's important to build a community of athletes, filmmakers, and creative peers. And I actually don't think that's really what I mean. I think a community is anybody who loves you and supports you. For a long time, a lot of my friends were filmmakers and photographers and runners, and now that's kind of started to change, where a lot of my friends aren't necessarily creatives or they're not necessarily in the running industry. And it's pretty fun to have people in your life that are totally interested in something completely different than you are. Because for me, I want to be surrounded by community that supports me in who I am and not necessarily what I do for work. And they care about me as a person that likes to play guitar and likes to eat healthy and likes to go on kayak adventures in the summertime. Like, I want to be surrounded by people that love me. And I think if you're only surrounded by people that are supporting you professionally, that can also lead to burnout, because a lot of your conversations might end up being about something creative or something work-related, when really what you're needing at a specific moment might be just support as a human being. And for me, like, building a career as a filmmaker has been one of the most fulfilling things that I've done. I feel so grateful to tell stories about effort and emotion in the beauty of the outdoors. But it took time, intention, and consistency. Start with purpose, and don't wait for permission to make your first great running film. If you've made it this far into the How to Film Running Masterclass, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me through this. This series started with a very simple idea, which was to show you how I film running. But over the course of these videos, we've learned more than the cameras and the lenses that I've used. We've learned about how to move with intention. We've learned how to tell stories that people remember. Hopefully, we've learned how to chase something honest, whether that's on a trail, behind the camera, or in the editing room. Over these 7 episodes, we've gone from trail running shoots in the forest, to gear, to gimbals, to planning and directing real documentaries, all the way to this video, where we learn how to make a career out of it. And now that this series is over, I encourage you to go make something, even if it's messy, even if it's solo. And then once you make something, come back and watch the series again with fresh eyes. Start with episode 1 and see how far you've come. I hope that this series gave you the tools, but more importantly, I hope it gave you permissions to pursue your passions. So this may be feeling like the final episode of the masterclass, but there's actually one more video coming, which is going to be a laid-back question and answer style video where I answer any question that you have about how to film running. At this point, you've watched over an hour's worth of content of me explaining how I film running, and I might have missed some things. I might have missed some gear that you have questions about, some techniques or walkthroughs that you have questions about. So if there's anything that you're curious about knowing about how to film running, drop a comment below and I will do my best to answer all the questions in the next video. So subscribe, stay tuned, sign up for that newsletter, and I'll see you in the next video. Sign up for the newsletter. Bye.